when you put in the work and you earn something, you value it different. You appreciate it different. You take care of it different. It's like working out for 10 weeks. You're not just going to slump on your 11th week and just overeat and undertrain. Then it's like defeats the purpose. But here's the thing about the body, about business, about life. It can take you a long time to build your body, your business, and your life. And it only take a few missed attempts and you can lose it all. Spiritual Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Bigger, and I'm back again with another episode. And I'm so happy to be here because today in this episode, I'm going to break down why you must put the work in. You must put the work in. You must put the work in. We got to do the work. I think with social media and AI, it's so easy to get lazy, to get complacent, to be comfortable, and not have the drive or the energetics to want to put in the work for the results you want to see, right? And I was watching a video from Gary Vee, and he was talking about people not putting in work. And he said he believes followers won't mean nothing in a few years. It's all about content creation. And if you haven't listened to my episode about content over consumption, you need to go back and listen to the episode. It's like two previous episodes prior or three prior to this one. It's all about content creation. It's about building your brand and putting in the work. Now, look, I know some of you listening might think, well, I don't have a bunch of followers. People don't know me. I don't know where to start. It's not about where you start. Just start. Just put in the work. Have faith. I think the biggest thing that we miss about putting in work, we don't do it with faith. We don't do it with belief. Now, I'm not saying just go work, post content, do what you think because you can, like have some intentions behind it, right? But have faith. Would you want to buy something or create something without your energetics and your faith and your love into it? Look at your brand or look at what you're creating as if it was your kid or your child or baby. You want to take care of it. You want to edify it. You want to make it better. You want to make sure it gets the nurturing and attention and affection it deserves to be the best birth of the product or thing you're doing or creating. So put in the work. So I got 5 topics that I want to talk about. So the first one is faith without work is dead. So that's number one. Two, discipline over motivation. Three, spiritual strength requires training. Ooh, that's a good one. Four, the grind is part of the miracle. I always say miracles don't come easy, but they are worth it. And all of us deserve to be in our season of miracles. Got to put the work in. The grind is part of the miracle. Five, no shortcuts to greatness. And another quote I like to say, when you take shortcuts, you get cut off. It's that simple. All right, so I'm going to start from the top. Faith without work is dead. You can speak it, gotta live it. You can talk the talk, but you gotta walk it. So it's one thing to believe in miracles, but action is what brings them to life. I believe that at 22 years old, man, I want to go to LA. I got to sign a signal to go to LA. Okay, sounds good, Mr. Bigger. It sounds good. So I booked a trip, a one way in 2010, June 10th, or June 12th, 2010, a one-way ticket to go to Los Angeles, California for the first time at the age of 22. I made that reality, that miracle, that dream a reality because I took action. I had faith about it, but I put some work behind it. Two, God gives us the vision, but it's our responsibility to move our feet. So again, shouts out to Anna, Simplified Impact, to all the people out there that has a podcast, starting a podcast, or you have a big presence, or you're trying to grow your presence, tap in with Simplified Impact. They control all my SEO, all my podcast promotions on YouTube and social media. They're incredible. Anna is a great soul, a client and friend of mine, and she's helped me grow my podcast and my YouTube so much. And the thing is, when I met Anna and I sat with her team, Simplify Impact, you remember my podcast was Bigger Talks Podcast, right? She said, Eric, I think you should change your podcast to spiritual fitness. I said, okay, right? So God gave me the vision and the phrase of spiritual fitness because I was working with Anna, also another client, Debica, and they was like, oh, spiritual fitness, that's what it is. So that vision came to mind and I made it a thing. Now it's out in the cosmos, it's out in ether. So spiritual fitness is a consciousness. It's an embodiment of your soul, of your spirit. And how do we make it fit? Through movement, through mindset, through spirituality, through spiritual intelligence, emotional intelligence, through awareness, through manifestation, all these things. And underlining all that is having full authenticity and integrity. But I had a vision and I had to move my feet on it. And so I changed the name to my podcast, and now we're here. The power of manifestation works when paired with consistent effort. And as you know, I've been putting out an episode every week for almost, I think it'll be almost a year. I've been putting out an episode every week. But see, you guys don't see the work I put in, how I might batch 3 or 4 podcast episodes, right? I got another interview tomorrow, right? But you don't see that. You only see what is shown and what I put out. But I'm putting in work. I'm putting the work in because God gave me the vision to have a phenomenal, expansive podcast. But I gotta follow the vision, move my feet, and move with consistent effort, right? Because manifestation comes from action, inspired action, aligned action. So remember, people, faith without work is dead. Have the faith in the relationship. Have faith that you can make the money. Have faith that something greater is coming, but also have the faith to do the work that it requires for things to come into your life, or for things to be the way you want. You got to put in work. Everything requires work and faith. All right, let's get to number 2. Discipline over motivation. Whew, this is tough because before recording this podcast, I got out the shower, was meditating. I was feeling so comfortable. Oh yeah, so comfortable. So I wasn't as motivated. But I know the beginning of today, I gotta stay on it. I gotta show up. I gotta put in the work. So I'm disciplined to this commitment that I'm doing with my podcast and with everything I'm doing with spiritual fitness. So I wasn't as motivated, but I'm disciplined to get it done. Right? They say motivation comes and goes, but discipline keeps you showing up. And that's what I'm doing. I'm showing up for me. I'm showing up for you. I'm showing up for the world. I'm showing up for the people who gonna, or person or individual who's gonna need this podcast, that's gonna listen, that's gonna pay attention and integrate this message, this wisdom that comes through me, through higher power, through God, through the soul of my spirit, of my fitness, for someone to take action and put in the work so they can create something to change somebody's life. It's bigger than us. It's bigger than me. It's about we. It's about the collective. It's about humanity. How can I put out content to help you and help others watching or what's going to come across this be better, to be inspired, to be motivated, to be willing to show up? So discipline over motivation. We must have discipline. Small daily actions compound over time, whether in fitness, faith, or success. I always say daily deposits leads to big winnings, big earnings, big results. So I got a Fidelity account, right? And I trade stocks. So there's an option on you can take a certain amount of money out of your account automatically, right? A lot of people know that who probably trade stocks and probably even more. I'll just do it when I have the time. But there's an option where beginning of the year, every week they take out a certain amount. So I think the first week is $1, second week is $2, third week is $3, fourth week is $4, then it's $5, $6, $7, $8, $9. It goes on and on and on. And it might compound. I'm not sure because I think this week, I got to do the math wrong. I think they took $23 out. And I think by the end of the year, it'll equal, was it like 1,500? I don't know. But anyway, it's compounding. I got to get the math on that. So daily habits. I always say small wins. It's the small balls that win the game, not the home runs. It's the small balls that win the games, not the home runs. I just want you to get on base. Can you get on base of your life? Just get to first base and then move to second base. Then eventually you'll be on third base and then we can bring it home. But if we're always trying to hit home runs, trying to get the viral video, 10 million views, or sell out $100,000 in the first month of your business, I'm not saying that it's not possible, but why would you anticipate something so fast, so easy, if you haven't really put in the work, right? So the reason why I always say the fast things don't last, because long term you can't sustain. They always say easy money is fast money. That's why you spend it fast, because there's no value in getting it because it comes so easy. So what happens is the foundation of that has nothing strong to stand or sit on because it happens so quick, right? So there's nothing built within the vibration of the thing you're creating. And look, some people get fame early, they get success, and then they can't sustain it because they don't have the tools or the skill sets to sustain it because it came so quick and they didn't build small daily actions over time. When you put in work, confidence follows because you know you earned it. That is a true thing. When you put in the work and you earn something, you value it different. You appreciate it different. You take care of it different, right? It's like working out for 10 weeks. You're not just going to slump on your 11th week and just overeat and undertrain. Then it's like defeats the purpose. But here's the thing about the body, about business, about life. It can take you a long time to build your body, your business, and your life. And it only take a few missed attempts and you can lose it all. Isn't that crazy? Like for fitness, for me, I work out a lot. So when I was in Peru last year, I couldn't work out for 2 weeks. I didn't lift weights. I didn't eat any protein. And my body was cool because I worked out for so long. But I didn't feel as strong in my body. And mind you, I'm hiking mountains, I'm climbing mountains. I felt weak. But I was like, that was just 2 weeks of not doing no exercise. And I feel like I never worked out. That's scary. So consistent daily habits of action towards your goal. Because it builds confidence and it gives you momentum. And then over time, you become the thing you're constantly putting out. So if I'm constantly putting out content, motivation, positivity, fitness, over time, I'm going to become those things. I am motivation. I am fitness. I am spirituality because I'm embodying what I'm doing because I'm doing so much of it. That's where the consistency and the discipline comes in. All right. So remember, discipline over motivation. Get discipline in the thing you want. So when you get it, you can keep it over time. Number three, spiritual strength requires training. Just like the body needs exercise, the spirit needs daily conditioning, prayer, gratitude, self reflection. So earlier today, I went live and I did Tai Chi and stillness for 10 minutes because I want to introduce to my followers and to the people that's watching that there's other ways to spiritually train your vessel. And Tai Chi is more of like bringing your energy into your body, calming your energy, bringing it out, bringing it in. How do we allow our energy to drop into our body where we feel safe in our body? Because of the world and what's going on in certain areas, we could be distracted, distorted, or our energy can be outwardly into the world and not into our body. And we feel what the world is feeling because we're not in our bodies. So I did Tai Chi and stillness where 5 minutes of Tai Chi, 5 minutes of healing frequencies, and we were just silent. 10 minutes just to calm the nerves, regulate the nervous system, and tune into your frequency, to your energy, because your energy is your currency, right? Everything that you want in life, everything you've manifested, attracted, or didn't like, or did came through your vessel. We gotta go inward. I'm thinking of a quote that I want to read right now. I posted it to my Facebook last night, and it stood out to me, and I sent it to a client. And literally, what it's about is being. It's from a book called The Art of Contemplation by Richard Rudd. He's the founder and creator of Gene Keys. So here it is. We will learn that true purpose of life is not something we are here to do. Rather, it is something we are here to be. It is a quality or inner virtue that we bring to everything we do in life. To find our purpose is to find nobility of spirit that pervades our entire life. So basically, what I get from that is that yes, everybody wants to discover their purpose, or maybe they don't, and they want to have some type of meaning in life. But basically, what I'm reading from this is that the purpose is what are we being every day? What we being, who are we being, right? How are we showing up? Not that I get to record a podcast episode, I get to create content, I get to train and coach clients. That's the doing energy. But in those doing, what is my being? Like what energy am I in when I'm doing that? Because words mean nothing, action means nothing if the frequency behind it is don't have a real intention. So if I was just training because I could train, coach because I could coach, do a podcast but the frequency in my being is to motivate, to inspire, to demonstrate, to showcase, to influence, to empower, and for people to be their best self, right? So I'm being that within everything I'm doing. But sometimes we don't have to do anything and we're being everything. Just like the body needs exercise, the spirit needs daily conditioning. So what are you doing to strengthen and condition your spirit? I always talk about prayer. Praying is so important. Meditation, breath work, journaling, self reflection, right now listening, you listening or watching this, what is the most important thing or what is the most vital thing in your life that you are grateful for right now? I'm here in LA. When I look out the window, the sun is shining. I'm grateful for that. Thank you, God, for sunshine. Thank you, God, for giving me this life to live. Thank you, God, for giving me this podcast. Thank you, God, for giving me listeners and people wanting to hear what I have to say. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I get to do this. It's gratitude. What are you grateful for? Next, the more you invest in your spiritual growth, the stronger you become in handling life's challenges. Yes, because most times we're not in control. We're not in control. We think we are. Our egos like to control things, but when you build your spirituality and your inner self and you go inward, when things outside of you are chaotic or trying to disrupt you or get your attention in a negative way, and you're grounded in your spirituality, you're not a reactive person. You're proactive. You know how to respond with love and diplomacy. You're not fighting the fight with a fight. You're not resistance. You're just one with everything because you know this too shall pass. You know tough times don't last forever. You know you will get through this. But also there's something to learn about challenges and changes that come into your life, especially abruptly when you're not ready for it. But that's the whole purpose of being anchored in some form of spirituality that aligns with your heart and your soul. So just take note to that. Staying consistent in faith and self improvement leads to divine alignment. Hey, like we said before, faith without works is dead. I believe the more you attune to your higher self, your spirituality, your spiritual truth, you will move your vessel, your body, your conscience into the alignment of your soul's purpose. Most of my life, I've been searching for like, what am I here to do? Who am I? What is my message? What is the intention? Why do I want all this knowledge and information? And then slowly but surely, your soul opens up and give you the answer. But because I'm curious and I'm willing to do the work to go deeper within my vessel, I'm able to push myself in divine alignment to give you a message that might open you up to your truth. Because it's bigger than me. It's about we, it's about the collective. How can we as a collective help each other? How can you share this episode, subscribe to the podcast, download this, and tell someone who you think really needs it, so they can resonate? Because we in this together. And I want you to share not only my content, but your content. What is your content? What is your faith like? What does spirituality mean to you? What is a miracle to you? The goal when I get in front of people, I want them to take my information and wisdom for their benefit, but I also want them to find their benefit in my information where they can call in their own power and their own autonomy. Don't put my information on a pedestal because your information and your wisdom is just as strong. Maybe you haven't tapped into it. And this is why Spiritual Fitness Podcast exists. So it can help you grow in that space beyond church, beyond religion, beyond where you come from, beyond the books you read. You're creating a story just the way you are right now by just listening. So stay consistent in your faith and be willing to work on yourself because the hardest work we'll do in life is on ourselves. But that work pays so much more than working hard at a job, long term. So let's go into four. The grind is part of the miracle. Now, grind has a sometimes I would say have a negative connotation. I would just say the work that it takes to be great, the work that it takes for you to be fulfilled, the work that it takes for you to have a loving, endearing partnership is part of the miracle. Every struggle, setback, and challenge is shaping you for the breakthrough. And this is something I had to learn the hard way because when I deal with contrast, challenge, or things that I'm not ready to change in, I want to justify and intellectualize, hopefully I said that word correctly, what it means to make sense of it instead of just allowing myself to have a bad day, to have a bad moment, to allow myself to just be human and not be so spiritual, but be in my body. Because there's something called spiritual bypass. And I've done it a lot because of my perception. I don't want you to end, I don't want us to present or display toxic gratitude because that's not healthy for our bodies, right? So every struggle, setback, and challenge is shaping us for our breakthrough. So sometimes when we allow ourselves to sit and surrender to the breakthrough or the challenge or the change, we actually have the breakthrough. But when we fight it, we resist it, we try to avoid and distract ourselves from it, it chases us and then chases us down and then we break. And then that's how I believe I had my dark night of the soul because I kept ignoring what I needed to face. And some of you might be at a space right now where you're ignoring something you know you need to look at. And here's the thing, you're only afraid of it because of your perception of it. I remember I was in Mexico and I was afraid of the ocean because of like, oh, I don't want to drown. But I was perceiving it as such a bad thing because of my fear. The moment I jumped in the water and I popped back up and swam back to the boat, I was like, wow, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Right. So sometimes it's our mind and how we perceive things and our imagination, something negative that keeps us from moving towards it. I was hiking earlier today, and the acronym for fear that I'm used to is false evidence appearing real. But then a buddy of mine was saying face everything and rise. So that's the new acronym for fear. Face everything and rise. So when you face your fears with that intention, you rise up and you grow and you learn. But you got to be willing to do the work. Trust the process means understanding that the work is the blessing. Yes, the work is the blessing. Imagine like when you're in the gym, you're doing those reps, you're doing those push-ups, you're doing those squats, or you jogging on that treadmill. You eating clean, or you getting up on time, getting up at 5, going to bed at 9, uh, reading the books, doing a prayer, being faithful to your relationship. It opens up a whole new life for you. But if you don't give things a try because you're shortcutting things, and what I say, you take shortcuts, you get cut off, or you've been programmed to get everything easy because of social media and technology. I mean, we got Uber Eats, we got Uber, we got DoorDash, we got Grubhub, we got Instacart. All these things just rob us of our free will and freedom to be humans and give effort. So, effort. Like I was saying in a previous episode, guys don't have to put in work on dating apps. You like me, you swipe, oh, let's date. There's no, can I take you out? Can I buy you a drink? Hey, what's your name? Where you from? There's no, there's just, I like you. We flirt a little. Let's go on a date. And everything is so fast. So I think we don't really appreciate things when we do get them because we feel like the accessibility now is so rapid that we can get anything by the snap of our fingers. So it's making us lazy. And this is why AI is trying to take over and take out jobs because we're not tapping into our divine humanist power, our remembrance. So just be aware of that. Miracles often happen in motion when you stay in the game. The doors open. Oh, that's good. So the first one, the one prior to that was trusting the process, meaning understanding the work is a blessing. Yes, the work is a blessing. Miracles often happen in motion when you stay in the game. The doors open. So what I take from that is that real things happen naturally. Like this download to do this podcast on this topic came to me, but I wasn't questioning it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a podcast on that, right? Like, I'm so excited. Let's talk about putting in the work. Faith without works is dead. But I was in motion. I wasn't thinking about what it was gonna be or how it was gonna be. I was just like, this is what I'm gonna talk about. Or think about when you're having fun or you're in a good space, great things coming to you, like because you're in motion and doors open up. Because you're not focusing on what's not happening or what you need to do. You're just actually doing it. You're putting in the work. So as you work, more work comes to you or more opportunity comes to you because you're actually even working on the work or you're working on yourself. So then you change your frequency, you change your vibration, and new things happen on those different timelines. So just be privy to that. No shortcuts to greatness. Success is built on habits, not hacks. The ones who stay committed even when it's hard are the ones who see results. Show up, do the work, and let God handle the timing of your success. So this is the last one. And I want to take my time with each one I just announced. Success is built on habits, not hacks. And look, I'm a man who loves life hacks. I take cold showers. Sometimes I brush my teeth with my least dominant hand. Uh, I love DMT breath work. I'm trying to do anything to jump timelines as quick as I can, right? However, so imagine me doing all these life hacks, right? And I'm only doing them for a few months and then I stop. What you think is going to happen? I'm going to recalibrate where I started because I stopped putting in the work. So the reason you want to do the work over and over is because you want to instill that healthy habit in your life and embody it into the world. Imagine if I just get up every day for 30 days and then I stop. I'm not really building a great habit long term because I gave up after 30 days. This is why people go on diets and then they stop the diet or they stop the working out or they stop the thing and then they go back to their normal state. So you want to be consistent, like we said prior. You want to be consistent and you want to build on good habits. What are your habits like right now If I was sitting in front of you, what would you say is the habit that brings you the most success in your life? Is it getting good rest, going to bed on time? Is it working out 5 to 6 days a week? Is it reading a book a month? Is it taking your spouse out on a date every week? Is it allowing yourself to have fun every so often? Like, what is the good habit you have in your life that brings you success? And look, some of us probably don't even know, or we never thought about it, but there's a habit that brings you into a higher alignment or higher energy for you to feel good or for good things to come to you. Maybe speaking on podcasts, doing hair, cooking, singing out loud, dancing. There's a habit that you have instilled in you that you should practice over and over to keep that around long term for your fulfillment. All right, next one. The ones who stay committed, even when it's hard, are the ones who see results. This one is tough. Reason being because it is at times hard to stay committed when things are not going your way, when you're getting a short end of the stick, it's taking longer than you expected, or you're just constantly looking for out or a win. And so the thing about that is, and this is why with that messaging, with that statement, we have to be clear on our intentions. And I talked about analogy a few days ago on my Instagram story. By the way, follow me on Instagram at Eric Bigger, also on TikTok, and subscribe to the YouTube. But I was saying responsibility over feelings. Sometimes we allow our feelings to get the best of us. And when things get hard, that's what's in control, your emotions, your feelings. But I have a responsibility to take care of myself. I have a responsibility to work out. I have a responsibility to get rest. I have the responsibility to record podcast episodes. So I'm going to tuck my feelings because my feelings are temporary and I'm going to be responsible for what I need to do. But what we do when things get hard, we go back into our ego and we put things off so then we don't see the results. So that's why, again, discipline is better than motivation because when things hit hard and there's challenges, you're not as motivated. That's why you must have discipline. And last but not least, the greatest one of it all, show up, do the work, and let God handle the timing of your success. Ooh, I love that. Show up, do the work, and let God handle the time of your success. And what that means to me is show up with certainty beyond logic, beyond what you can see, and watch God deliver over and over and over and over again. Now, if we're coming like, I'm gonna do this work, then I'm gonna see what I get. You can't go on that frequency. You can't go on that vibration. And I always say, do your all, expect the best, and God will handle the rest. It's the same thing. So have certainty beyond logic, put in the faith, have faith with consistent effort, right? Stay in alignment because you're going to build strong confidence in yourself and what you're building. And God going to bless you because source is going to see that you're tapping into your supernatural gifts or you're tapping into the message you got or your spiritual fitness. So where at in your life you feel like you lack or you slack because of fear, we got to remove that. Where in your life you feel like you need a little bit of support, you need a support system. And this is why I do these episodes because I want you to come on these episodes to listen to get not feedback from me, but feedback from yourself. Because when we listen to something that we resonate, it's not me telling you what to do or how to do it. It's you going back to yourself, knowing like, oh, I think that's what I need to do. You're really training yourself and God is helping you. This is why you came into this podcast, right? So we got to tap into our God frequency. We have to tap into our spiritual fitness. And I want you to do the work. Show up and do the work. Do the work. The work pays. The work pays life dividends. And don't do the work with expectation. Do the work with appreciation. If I'm in a relationship and I'm only treating it from what I can get and not from what I can become, I'm never going to get the full benefits of it because I'm giving, 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 giving to get instead of giving, giving, giving to evolve, to grow, to become. And I was watching a video on Instagram a while ago, and it said that men who have commitment issues, committing to the one or the woman of their dreams or the one they know they should, is because they are afraid of not the commitment to the relationship of their spouse or their partner, but they're afraid to commit to the man they have to become. So, what does that say? They don't want to put in that work. That's it. Any commitment takes work. Any result you want to see in life, success, evolution of something, you have to put the work in. So As we sign off on this podcast, put in the work, put in the work, put in the work. The work works. And I promise you, over time, you'll get confident, you'll feel more empowered, and things will fall in place, and God will deliver. God is great all the time. So it is. I want to say a quick prayer because it's on my heart, about faith, about putting in work, and that for everyone listening, that they take this prayer and they use it and they embody it, and it works through them to be what they need to be for themselves and their dreams, their brands, their careers, their relationships, and the things they want. Dear God, as I come to you in this moment, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for this podcast episode. Thank you for everyone listening. Thank you for everyone who's coming in, getting the information, the wisdom, the inspiration, the empowerment they need they need to edify their dreams, to be better, to be on point, to be sharp, to enhance their skill set. God, give them certainty beyond logic. God, give them faith. Allow them to do the work with love. Allow them to do the work with truth. Allow them to do the work with joy. Allow them to be in alignment of their soul's assignment. And we want you to remove fear from their life, doubt, worry, and allow them to recalibrate and renew their spirit, to make their spirit fit so they can manifest the dreams of their life and so they can do it in such a highest frequency and vibration. Keep us as souls and individuals and people of the world, keep us safe in our minds, safe in our body. Allow us to trust in you, trust in higher power, trust in something greater, and allow us to connect to source energy where we're getting divine wisdom and downloads for the greater good of our souls, of our purpose, and the lives we serve. God, we just want to say thank you. Bless each and every individual listening and watching in this moment with so much love, so much gratitude that they never forget to pray, they never forget to have faith, and they never forget to put in the work. So it is. Just want to say thank you. Amen. So it is. Another spiritual fitness podcast episode. I'm your host, Eric Bigger. Download, share, subscribe, like, DM me on Instagram at Eric Bigger. I'm also on TikTok. Follow me at Eric_Bigger. I'm on Threads. Let's connect. Let's build. Let's show up and put in the work. I'm out. Be great. Peace.